Have you experienced the awesome power of the Panasonic Real 3DO system? Obviously.
Presenting 3DO, the most advanced home gaming system in the universe. It's time to put away your toys.
3DO from Panasonic, Gold Star, and Creative Labs. A new low price and free games.
Mind-blowing graphics of Panasonic Real 3DO. 3DO.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the 3DO Experience, the 3DO retrospective podcast where we talk about the 3DO console, the company behind it, and everything in between. I am Bill, and this is my co-host, Threk. How you doing, Threk?
No, I'm doing. How are you?
Doing good other than getting metal in my eye today, but besides that, it's been okay.
You want to tell our viewers about it?
Yeah, it's actually not as interesting as it sounds. It was more, I'm a machinist for anyone who doesn't know, and I was working on a lathe, and the material I was cutting was like this like cast iron, which like cuts off into like little metal like chips, and one of them hit the spinning chuck and flung right into my eye and happened to fly right between the one crack in my safety glasses. So yeah, that was fun.
I assume you're okay.
Yeah, everything was fine. I literally, the second it happened, I stopped the machine, just ran to the restroom and washed it out, and it was good after that.
You hit the eye wash station?
Yeah, thankfully it actually didn't hit my eye directly. It like grazed like right near the tear duct, so it kind of just like immediately got extinguished by tears, ironically. And I just kind of got it washed out, and then it kind of felt annoying for about an hour, and then it kind of just went away, and I stopped noticing it.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, life of a machinist. It's always your hands are all cut up to hell, or you get shit flung at you. It's always fun.
Overworked and underpaid, right?
Underpaid. Yeah, that's why I'm in a union.
Good for you.
And I guess overworked. Yeah.
So, I start a new job tomorrow, a temp job. So yeah, temporary. Working at the local food bank in my area, helping out with like the mail sorting and some light accounting, things like that.
Nice.
It was offered to like, the accounting students at the college I go to. So, I mean, we'll see if it leads anywhere. I'm not necessarily expecting it to one way or the other. If anything, it'll look really good on the resume for when I apply for jobs later. So it should be good. And it's in the middle of the day, so I can't I can't quit my job that I'm working for this because I'm only going to do like 12 hours a week here. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to get a couple new experiences. Maybe I'll indoctrinate them into this podcast. Who knows?
Yes. Continue the cult of 3DO.
Exactly. I did get all the golf games. So
nice. I'm gonna end up hating golf video games by the end of that. I can already tell.
I'm only gonna love them more. Well, I got all those and Baten Kaitos.
Nice.
The collection for Switch because I got it through Play Asia because that was the only way you could get a physical of it. So it is going straight into the backlog.
Yep.
Rip.
I saw you made a guest appearance on Super Pod Saga today.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I don't know what that ad read was, but it was amazing.
Neither do I. What, the one I did?
Just the entire ad read, like every part of that.
Yeah. Well, they were all kind of like acting wacky, but I think they just act wacky all the time.
Oh anyway. Yeah, that's a running tradition with Super Pod Sagas. Their ad reads are ridiculous.
Oh yeah, they're so good. And then, and that story I told about driving my friend, like, no, that is a real story. That is a true story. So I won't disclose who it was because I think it's for the best. But yes, that story did happen, and I still joke with them about it to this day. So
you see, in the great overarching canon of the Super Pod Saga, I officially died in one of my appearances, and I've just come back as a ghost.
Oh, that's awesome! That's awesome. I hope I get some lore like that.
So in like the best sequels episode, my internet shit the bed right at the end of it, so I just straight up die right at the end and I disappeared.
That's great.
And I've come back since, so I always joke saying I died for the podcast.
As you should. So,
Yeah,
but
shout
before
out
we
to
get,
Aaron and Tommy, by the way. They're really good guys.
oh yeah, they're great. Yeah, but before we get a little too further, I just want to let the audience know, as I already told you, I am now officially on Blue Sky, the Twitter competitor app thingy. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I went ahead and joined that just because I keep getting invite codes for it, and just in case Twitter goes belly up, I will already be there. So if anybody's here on Blue Sky, just at Thrack, I was able to get it. So I'm on there in case you want to follow me, and if for some reason Twitter goes belly up, you can just go here and I got the link tree and everything, so we should be good.
Nice. I might make one of them at some point. I'm just like not super inclined to make more social media because I'm already overwhelmed with it as it is.
It's fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, if it were up to me, I probably wouldn't have any except Discord, but
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is. I some of the only one I keep purely for like real life personal stuff is the Facebook, because actually like my group of friends, that's how we chat, is through Messenger. Other than that, I never really use it. So, and I would have gotten rid of Twitter, but because of me doing podcasting shit, I keep it for that. But you know,
Yeah, I've never actually had I have a personal Twitter, but it's like never been used. And like, I think I made it back in 2012,
yeah,
looked at it for like 5 seconds, thought it was boring, and I just never came back. You
fair
can
enough.
find it if you look hard enough, but you're not missing much. So
Fair enough. I mean, the one Twitter I have is the one Twitter I've always had. So I didn't join till that fucking late, where I was just bored out of my skull. That's why
I
I did
got
it.
more into, I was more of an Instagram guy.
I just, I, my life isn't that interesting to take pictures of. It's just not. I
See,
tried, and
I have 4 Instagrams. That's how into it I got.
Yeah, that works. You cover the Instagram, I'll cover the Blue Sky, and we'll be fine.
Yep. And whatever other alternate social media appears, because God knows at the rate it's going. But
Oh yeah. Well, I think Threads dead.
I mean, it's integrated into your Instagram, so it kind of is just a thing that exists. I never even opted to start it because I was just like, no, I don't feel like doing this.
Fair enough.
See, I like Instagram because my favorite part about Instagram is you can just look at the pictures and just ignore all the bullshit if you don't want to, if you're really not interested.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if you like, looking at pretty people, Instagram's the best place to do it. So.
Yeah, it used to be so much more fun back when like you could actually just post video game stuff and like people would look at it. Now you get like OnlyFans models holding video game cartridges because that's apparently gaming content now. I'm not bitter.
It's fine. Okay. You own every fucking game ever anyway, so you're fine.
I know. I just joke because like before I was in podcasting, I used to have a big Instagram blog and it used to get tons of traction. And then once they changed Instagram to basically just be Twitter Lite. I'm not Twitter Lite, TikTok Lite. It basically killed all of the like small independent gaming blogs and stuff that were going on there.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
But what is not a social media platform and is instead a game in quotation marks, 3DO, Station Invasion.
This game sucks.
It's not great. I guess like the best way to describe this game is twisted for kids in question mark.
It's twisted but not as fun.
And educational kind of question mark there.
I mean, Twisted is weirdly educational because it has the trivia section.
And it's also endearingly charming because of just the characters and stuff.
Yeah, like that one is so batshit insane that like it's memorable. You're not going to forget it. Whereas this
one's also batshit insane, but not in the fun way. This is more of the concerning way, I'd say.
It's just weird. Like, and it's not even like a wacky look how nutso we can be. It's just like weird. I don't know. It feels very I don't know how to describe it. It's just off-putting. Maybe it's because it's all kids. Like the plot is the most bare bones, basic ass plot. I think Nintendo's written deeper plots for Mario games than this.
I'm sure Miyamoto, the king of hating plots, has written more interesting plots.
Yeah, than fucking this, where it's basically just these kids are like, "Oh, we're taking over the TV station." Well, why? Is there a reason? No, they're just taking it over, and the adults just kind of let them, basically.
Except for that one really butthurt guy that like
Yeah,
comes in at the end.
yeah, Mr. Ephebophilia up in here, and he. It's like, oh, but we got to drive up the ratings, so we're gonna do like weird mini games with the people watching the TV for ratings or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
The best character in this game is John, the Labrador retriever.
Yeah,
I guess.
I'll be honest, I could barely remember any of them.
I just remember the Labrador retriever that was a character for whatever reason.
Here, I'll read this from the manual. Introducing Station Invasion. Congratulations. Good going. You're the new producer here at Kid TV. Out of dozens of kids who applied, you are our first choice, or at least you were the first to convince someone to buy this for you, or did you use your allowance? Good for you. Kid TV is just the latest in a string of enterprises my friends and I started. Who? Oh, our fearless leader, Jake Smits, just some random backwards cap dude. You know, he looks like if somebody did that now. 2 years ago, we began pooling the money we made from allowances, lemonade stands, newspaper routes, dog walking, and our things to buy our own television station. K-Gup TV was in serious trouble, so we did a leveraged buyout and took over. We booted the grown-ups out, and the kids voted me, Jake Smits, in as president. There you have it. We got the shows, we've got the actors, now we've got the producer, you. So meet the stars and pick the program you want to produce, then on with the show.
Yeah,
that's actually, well, that gives me some plot, because when it opens, it's that one girl on the front cover with the microphone just being like, "Oh, we took it over," you know?
Yeah,
like I would have preferred a game where you do the hostile takeover, where you're a bunch of kids, you know, trying to burn down this fucking station and kill all the adults to try to throw them out of there. Like that would have been awesome.
That's
like,
not
there you go.
educational though.
It's educational. It teaches you how to choke out an adult male.
So I guess
it teaches you murder.
Yeah, for kids.
Yeah.
So I guess for a little backstory on this game, there's not a whole lot. Unlike Twisted, which is actually pretty well documented, this game is a bit harder to find info on.
Wikipedia is blank. Is that what you're saying?
It's actually more in depth than I thought it was, but that's not saying a lot.
No.
So developers, this game, like Twisted, was developed by Studio 3DO, which is basically just the 3DO company's in-house development team.
It makes sense. It feels like it's the same people who did Twisted did this.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't tell if they did. I don't know which one they did first. I would like to know which one they did first.
I want to say Twisted, because Twisted came out first. I want to say.
Okay. So maybe this was them reeling it back.
Maybe. So, but another thing that I find interesting is, unlike Twisted, which was published by EA, this one was self-published by by Studio 3DO, which leads me to believe EA took one look at this and went, no.
Yeah, no fucking shot at this one.
And it was released December 6th, 1994, so second year of 3DO.
I was alive when this game came out.
I was not. I would be in a month.
Okay. I was about just over 3 months.
Yeah, I was a little less than a month from being alive at the time.
Yeah. So I'm almost the target demographic. Because it's weird that this game is considered educational, yet I feel like I didn't learn anything except how not to make a video game.
Yeah. So I guess to explain it, it is very similar in design to Twisted, in the sense that there is really no... It's basically like watching a movie, and it's kind of like one of those actually DVD like mini game like packs that you would get occasionally, where
or like those VHS games or whatever. Well, those had like the guns that you zapped at the TV, but like this is very much it has the gameplay of going through a DVD remote or going through a DVD menu,
because there's no menus in this game. It's really much, it's like Twisted, where it kind of just starts and then you just go right into it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of foreplay here.
Fun fact: this whole process of doing research for this game started off on a bad note to the point where I think my 3DO was trying to tell me something. My 3DO, for the life of me, did not want to play this game for whatever reason. Like, it kept a fun fact about FC1s: their lasers are kind of sensitive, and like over time they have issues reading certain games. And when they reject a game, it just literally shoots the game out of the disc tray. Like, it'll just like stutter and then just shoot the tray out and be like, nope, I don't want to play it. My 3DO
that is weird. Is that your only game that does that?
So Gex does it occasionally. Road Rash every now and then. Crash and Burn, it just refuses to play for whatever reason these days.
Huh.
It's apparently just a thing with age where, like, because they're older lasers, I guess they're just not as they don't hold up over time.
Okay, because it worked just fine for me.
The FC10's laser was much better.
Yeah. For me, it was what it was.
I'm actually considering getting an FC10 at some point, just as a backup for certain games.
I mean, they're very available. Like, whenever I like go on eBay for shit, that's what I see. Is the FC10s. I rarely see anything else.
Yeah, like, I'll get one at some point. It's one of those more just like when I have the funds kind of thing.
I mean, you work as a machinist, so I understand. You know, the 3DO yearns for the mines.
Yeah. What's funny though is it took like about 10 minutes to get it running, and then it finally did, and I was like, "Yay, it's running!" And then I was like 5 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh no, it's running."
I have to play this game.
Yeah.
Well, play is very what's the word? Generous.
Subjective, I guess you could say.
Subjective. Yeah.
It kind of plays itself half the time.
Yeah, and it's like it's you get the sense that the writers were trying to actually go for jokes, that they were like the writing of this game, that they're actually like with Twisted, there isn't really that many jokes. It's just the whole thing is so absurd. That's what it kind of like rides its coattails on. But with this, it feels like they're actually trying to have some like writing in here or something, that they're trying to like be clever a little bit. Like, because all the characters that you choose as like your quote unquote like game board pieces, even though there's no game board at all, they've completely gotten rid of that. It's just the mini games. But you still have all these characters to select, and they all have their own shows. So we have, I'll do this. We have Billy, who is the star of the sitcom I'm Grounded, where the joke is he's grounded. Like, yes. It's something, I guess. I don't know. It gave me Malcolm in the Middle vibes for some reason. There's Angelica, which probably had the punniest one, because she's in the soap opera Sundays of Our Lives. That show's still going. You have Bryce, who is the host of Mysteries Schmisteries, and it for some reason it reminded me of Jonathan Frakes and his what was it, Unsolved Mysteries? Yeah, it reminded me of that, but not nearly as entertaining. But it felt like that's kind of what it was going for, an Unsolved Mysteries vibes. There's that Sofa Sin-Free. Oh, I literally just got that joke. Sofa Sin-Free. She's trying to do a talk show named after herself. Can you guess who she's trying to be, kids? Well, Oprah Winfrey, if you don't know. Some people may not know, because Oprah kind of disappeared into one of her giant mansions. And then we have Ernie. Ernie's my boy. All right, because he's the host. Because he's the host of What's That Smell? A show I actually would kind of want to watch. Just like walking around and being like, what's that smell? And then you just learn about smells.
That's actually one of my favorite jokes, is because when you're on the character select screen, you can highlight the characters, and they all say these really generic things.
Yeah, like, pick me.
Kind of like Twisted, but not as fun. Ernie, though, is the best, because when you highlight Ernie, he's like, hey, pick me. Don't you want to learn about smells? And I'm just like, yes, Ernie, I do.
Well, in the instruction booklet, they all have their little spiel. I'm not going to read them all, but I'll read Ernie's. Hi there, I'm Ernie Go Lucky. If you have a nose for success, you'll choose my show. It can't miss. It's hilarious. The show's called What's That Smell? And here's how it works. We have this jar filled with the foulest smelling stuff on earth, and we make grown-ups try to guess what's in it. Then choose how many whiffs it will take them to guess it. Of course, they want the number as low as possible. The kid stars find the smelly concoctions to put in the jars, and when the grown-ups stick their noses in them, it's a scream. Choose my show, and you'll come out smelling like a rose.
So you know what's really funny about this game?
What's that?
It has a marathon mode.
Oh, the puzzle practice.
No, so when you pick up the gameplay speed, you can actually like skip. There's like a faster version of the game where it basically skips all the full motion video shit.
Yeah, there's complete game, fast game, and then puzzle practice, which I did puzzle practice, and it's literally just all of the mini games on just a loop. Like it doesn't end until you go into like. It's funny how this game is slightly ahead of its time. It has 2 different pause screens, like most games now, where you push like, like say you push plus and you get like one. Like you get like the main pause screen, or if you push minus, it's like, oh, it's the map screen, but it's also kind of a pause screen. So, which I think is funny.
Yeah. So the way the 2 other versions are kind of interesting. You get the full game, which has all the full motion video stuff and like where most of this game's character is, quote unquote character.
It's attempting to have a character.
And then there's quick play, which is the version that I did because I forgot that there's more if you do the full. And that literally just skips all the bullshit and just goes through like all the shit. So like the characters like show will pop up and then it will just cut to the mini game, and it just so it makes it's like, oh, the shows are just irrelevant, I guess. And then you realize, no, you got to play full game to actually get that quote unquote part of it.
Yeah, because the full game section, because that's what I did. Even though it doesn't take that long to do a full game, it feels like it takes forever. Because it is so just fucking slow, and it's boring too. Like, that's the worst part about this game. It is boring. Like, Twisted kept you in with how fucking wacky and off the wall it is. This is like not nearly as much, and I feel like it makes it worse. Like, I couldn't imagine a kid playing this and being interested in it. Like, I really can't. I mean, look at me. I'm some like 30-year-old prick, and I don't find it interesting at all, but that's just me.
I can't imagine a kid owning a 3DO, to be honest, and playing this.
I could see it, but not that many, though. This game just feels very much just like they're like, oh, Twisted kind of worked, so let's try it again. But let's not do a Twisted 2 because that's too obvious. You know what I mean?
And let's try and appeal to the parents by making it educational, because that totally works.
And it's like barely educational. Like,
you do math once.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, a little bit. There's like the one where you just like flip all the puzzle pieces so it, just makes up the picture, which is the same fucking game from Twisted. There's the animal one where it's like, pick the crustacean, pick the mammal, pick the bug, pick the bird,
I did find the musical instrument one kind of cool, even though those instruments are so MIDI that some of them, I swear to God, didn't sound right at all.
Yes. Oh my God. Like the violin never sounded like a fucking violin. I was like, that's like a clarinet or something, I'd
always, and then whenever the oboe was on screen, I was always like, oh God, how am I going to guess the oboe? like really?
I mean, I could guess an oboe probably, but I liked when it was the bass drum. So you had like a melody being played by all these different like pitch shifted like bass drums or like the pitch shifted maracas. I thought that was really funny.
That one was funny. Like I did legitimately found that one kind of charming.
Yeah,
in a fun kind of way.
Yeah, it was the one that it was probably the best of the bunch because there was also like a mumbo jumbo where it just wants you to like oh, it's this thing that comes from the sky during a thunderstorm. It's like, well, it's lightning, and then you just have to unscramble the word.
Oh, right? Yeah, it was basically just anagrams.
Yeah, bananagrams. But you have take 3, the whole that's like math essentially. But it's more like
there's also the Mad Libs stuff. One.
Oh yeah, I couldn't think of it. It was just Mad Libs, yeah. What sucks with Mad Libs is that you want to make it funny, but the game doesn't really give you the opportunity to. Like, I know they can't just make you put in whatever. You can't put in whatever you want. Obviously, they didn't really have the technology for
So
that, but
I noticed one thing about the Mad Libs though that was really funny if you pay really close attention. The shows shit talk each other.
oh really?
Because I was reading them and I'm like, wait, Ernie, that's the Spell Kid. I'm like, they're shit talking my boy. It was like, because like yeah,
Yeah.
I noticed that real quick. Like I actually screenshotted one of the ones I made because I thought it was interesting. It'll probably be in the thumbnail for this episode at some point.
Yeah, I gotta read that.
I'll post
And
it in the
let's
3DO chat at some point.
sounds good. Yeah, then there was like the storyboard one, which was related to it, where it's it's all like English and trying to learn like all the different parts of speech or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And fine, I guess.
What
Sure.
difficulty did you play on?
Oh, I just did normal, which was like stupid fucking easy. I thought about like bumping it to the hardest difficulty because I was curious to how hard it gets.
So
But
I was kind of interesting. I made them all random. So I had like a couple were hard, a couple were easy, and then the rest were normal. It
yeah.
was interesting because like you get like question shifts, and none of it was challenging. But
Okay. Okay.
did you ever accidentally hit the C button and just completely fail a mission without an accident?
No. There was one I fucked up. It was the one of the math ones just cuz I couldn't figure it out fast enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then yeah, and so like they do scold you, but it's really kind of whatever. But yeah, that was like the only time I messed up. Everything else like I just knew it. Like it's all for someone like me, it's like the most common knowledge, you know.
Yeah, like it's also interesting too because this game is a multiplayer game similar to Twisted, but it's one of those multiplayer games where all the players share the controller.
Yeah.
So and it's kind of confusing when it's actually your turn to play. Like you got to wait till so everyone takes one of the characters, and basically once their show title screen pops up, that's when you're supposed to switch the controller over.
Okay, okay.
At least that's
Yeah,
what
but
I assumed.
it's so weird that this is like technically the sequel because it's so much done worse than Twisted. You know, because Twisted, despite all the wackiness, it kept you in. Like you knew it didn't like freak you out with the whole like, oh, when do I gotta pass the controller or whatever. Like the game explains everything to you
Twisted
decently
also
enough.
like was just so bizarre that like you'd constantly be playing like 'cause you just were waiting for like what's the next random thing that's just gonna pop up and
Yeah.
like completely throw you off guard, like the little fake advertisements in the middle of Twisted like that would just pop up and
Oh
you'd be like, wait a
yeah.
minute.
Yeah, those were great. Those were like random like YouTube videos almost. But this doesn't have like they don't even do commercials here. It's a goddamn TV station. Like they could have made that joke. You know, they
No,
could have rolled with that.
the most you get is like after every round you get like a newspaper that pops up and it's like Kid TV goes on to week 4 and it's like great.
Yeah, and that's nothing. That's literally fucking nothing.
I'm trying to think because like progression wise it's basically you keep doing rounds until someone gets to they fill up their top hat, which is how the points work for this game. It's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then once you get there, it's like you have to do like this like random die roll thing where it's like it'll pick 3 different mini games and you have to play all 3 and like even if you pass them all, it doesn't always make you win. And then you have to keep rolling until it just somehow wins. I didn't really understand what was happening.
Yeah, me either. It feels so half-assed, you know?
And occasionally you'd like get like a bad one and then like Mr. Angry former TV guy would just pop up and laugh at you and then make this like angry face at you. And I was just like, that's random, but okay.
Yeah, like I don't know what they were thinking with this. I really don't.
It honestly felt like it was even more made on drugs than Twisted was, but like not a good kind of drug.
Like if Twisted was made on like uppers, this was made on downers.
Yeah. It's honestly, it was one of those games that like when I was playing this, I had like the NASCAR race on in the background, and the whole time I'm like, just like watching the race, just like, oh shit, yeah, I'm playing a game, and I'm just like, Yeah, it was one of those
Like
experiences.
I couldn't even complete the full game. I tried, but I was just so like I just don't want to do this. Like
I tried a
I
full game and I gave up, and then I just did the quick play and I finished that.
okay, yeah, because I got as far as I could, but I was just so bored out of my skull, and I'm like the mini games, they're not going to change, they're not going to get any harder. Like the stuff the kids are saying in between, it's like I kind of don't care. Like nothing they're saying is really that interesting or entertaining.
Yeah, you didn't get like humble Howard just being himself, like popping up out of nowhere and being like,
Yeah,
or Mr. Pez or whatever, Mr. Fez or whatever his name was.
exactly. Like it's ridiculous, man.
Yeah. The other thing too that kind of sucks is like the mini games aren't randomized very well, so you're gonna play like the same ones almost constantly, and it just
Yes, yes. Again, Twisted. Going back to Twisted, it does such a better job with this format, and it just does such a better job with just being a more fun game. You know what I mean?
yeah. And honestly, like I was kind of bummed because I was kind of hoping this would be a gem, but then I saw it was educational, and I was like, I don't think this is gonna be a gem.
I didn't even know it was educational. I think it was when it was in that opening spiel, you know, like the one lady who's trying to be like the news reporter type, right? But she doesn't have her own like news show or anything. She just occasionally pops in to be like, "Oh, that was a great week of shows, wasn't it?" And I'm like, "No." But I think at one point she said, "Oh, we should try to educate. You know, we're gonna try to provide some educational content as well." And I that's what I went. Oh, God damn it. God fucking damn it. Cuz like
So this is kind of
there's
hilariously
nothing to say.
this is
Like my brain's just nothing.
this is a development notes, but this is kind of interesting. The one of the main guys behind Station Invasion was a man named Ed Rotberg, who was a key figure in the making of Battlezone. How the Mighty Have
Okay.
Fallen.
Sure. I've never played Battlezone. I don't think that's
You've probably seen it. That it's like the green like wireframes, like in like the kind of pseudo 3D
the
tank
vector
game.
vector graphics.
Yeah, like tank area kind of
Okay.
thing.
Cool.
The project was developed in 8 months.
Yep.
The production was apparently described as painfully short.
That's how I describe this game too.
Yeah. Reception wise,
Eh.
um,
Most people are like, eh.
so Next Generation gave it 3 stars. 3DO Magazine, still not sure if that actually exists, gave it 3 stars.
I believe it exists.
I'm still looking for it. I haven't found one yet. Video Games, that was apparently a review site, gave it a 6 out of 10. And Game Players gave it 75. They were being generous.
Yeah, because it's like there's not that like there's nothing there worth hating. You know what I mean? Like I don't hate this game by any means, but at the same time, it commits the worst atrocity a video game or any piece of entertainment can commit, in my opinion, and that's
Being
it's
boring.
boring.
Yeah.
Like I'm not interested in this at all, and I just couldn't do it, man.
I kind of
Just
like
couldn't do
Next
it.
Generation's review because it literally all their review is just if you're under 8, it's a scream. I don't know if that's good or bad.
That must have been some like 90s
Slang.
slang that didn't stick, you know.
Yeah. that's about it. You know there's a third game in this quote unquote trilogy?
Oh, there is.
Yeah, it's called Zadnas, the People's Party.
Oh, yeah, we need to do that. I don't have that one.
I don't either, but we've done these two. We kind of have to complete the trilogy, even if
Yes. Like just the cover of it makes me go, okay, there might actually be something here.
it's very interesting. That's all I'll say because I have no idea what I'm looking at. Really,
Have you played it?
no, not at all.
Okay.
I only actually found out it existed by doing research for this game.
All right. Well, let's Let's do the. Oh, real quick. Is there a memory manager here?
There's like no menus in this game at all. Once you finish, it goes right back to the start.
Well, there you go. Let's see. The People's Party on the 3DO. It is a pricey boy.
Okay.
Oh,
that might
boy.
be on hold for a while.
There are, let's see, if you just want the jewel case, if you're lucky, you can get it for $50.
That's not the worst, but it's still not really something I'd want to pay.
But there's somebody who's has the long box and they want $150 for it.
A loose disc is only $24.
And the box is like destroyed.
Yeah.
Though it comes with a controller apparently.
I might get just the jewel case because I see a couple going for like 30 to 40.
This might be one I just emulate.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
Honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I guess it's going to be pretty obvious. But let's do our must play. Okay, stay away. Stay away.
Pew, pew. Yeah. Stay far away, kids. Yeah, I mean, Twisted is. I forget what I said. I think I said okay. Did I say okay or must? I forget. But
I think you said okay / must play.
Yeah, it's probably my thinking was it's just okay, but it's so wacky that it's worth playing.
Oh no, we both said we both just said okay.
Okay. I mean, I would say if you have to play one of these wackadoodle games, play Twisted. I mean, we'll play Zadnost and see if it's worth anybody's time. But for now, I would say just play Twisted and just kind of forget this game ever existed, because that's probably what I will do by the time next week's episode rolls around.
So the way I see it is Twisted's a game that, like, if I happen to have like 5 friends over or something and we just like want to play something dumb, I'll pull out Twisted. I ain't pulling this out again. This is A, my 3DO doesn't like it, and B,
you don't like it.
Yeah, I really don't have any desire to experience this again.
Yeah. Honestly, it's a failure.
Yeah, it's...
But
swing and a miss.
Yeah, it's funny. It could be just me, but whenever I see this kind of stuff, I always go, I wonder what these kids are doing now.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like... so I guess a little shameless plug to...
How many of them fell down the QAnon rabbit hole?
Yeah. I guess like kind of a shameless...
At least one of them.
Yeah. Shameless plug to my other podcast, GNC. We did an episode talking about full motion video games recently, and I remember we were talking about Double Switch, and I remember we had the horrifying realization that the main character in Double Switch is dead now, and we were like, oh no. Like,
you just remembered Corey Haim died?
Yeah, I didn't know who Corey Haim was until we did the episode. So
okay, he lived a rough life. I don't know if you looked it up. But...
Yeah, I did, because we were Alex was talking, but she was like, "I wonder how he's doing," and I was like, "He's dead, Alex," and she's like, "Oh no!" And I was just like, "Yeah."
Okay. Oh, I have it in the back of the manual. It lists the credits. Thank God. So I'm gonna look up Ernie, and we'll see what Ernie's doing these days.
Our boy.
He's got a weird last name, but I don't want to say anything.
Yeah.
I don't want to out him. Let's see. Okay, there's a guy who lives out in Vancouver, Washington with this name. He is a game dev animator. He has a LinkedIn, and I'm looking at it, and I'm like, this could line up. This could. I don't know for certain. I guess he worked at Blizzard for a while. He did some character animation in Overwatch. That's pretty neat. Let's see. Yeah, I don't have any like pictures or anything, but it's possible. It's possible. But I'll have to do some research on my own.
Yeah. This game,
because if this is the same Ernie, he is the animation director at Bonfire Studios. And I don't know who the fuck Bonfire Studios are, but apparently he works for him. So good for him.
So
let's see if they've done anything.
Well, you looked that up. One other thing that makes this game just not as good as Twisted?
What's that?
It doesn't have Twink.
That
or his co-host. They made that game.
That's true. They did help. Like having a what's it called? A host probably would have helped. Like that one lady who was the damn like news reporter person. They could have like made her the like the host to kind of keep everything together.
Yeah.
Oh God, I think it's him.
Oh,
I found Bonfire Studios. There's an About Us, and I'm scrolling through, and they have like pictures of everybody who works there, and I'm looking at his face, and I'm like, I think that's the same guy.
it's Ernie, our boy.
I think it is. Like I'll send you the picture so you can see. But
Oh, boy.
I think it's the same guy. So hell yeah, he didn't go down the QAnon rabbit hole as far as I could tell. But they don't mention that he ever did this.
Well, I mean, it's kind of like when you go on Ben Studio's website and you don't see any mention of Bubsy 3D.
Why would they not mention that? But I find it weird they have this when it's like they don't, as far as I know, they don't have any games. So I think this studio, I mean, they've only been around since September of 2020. But looking at their website, I don't even see like games that they've released. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So maybe they're probably working on something, but like I don't even get a whole like, oh, this is the game that's currently in works or anything like that, you know?
Yeah, it might just be.
I'm trying to look. Damn it, I'm trying here.
They might just not be an active studio yet. They might be either that or they just game development's hard.
Yeah, I mean, game development is hard, but I think that's a whole other topic. Yeah, they don't have anything yet. All we have is one of them from the Games Beat Summit said their first game is going to be a PC-focused game. I think it might eventually go cross-platform, but it's a PC game. It's definitely much more for a core audience. We're not going to suddenly go out and make Candy Crush. That's all he said.
So I have to ask.
They announced they were working with oh no, that is in Unity. On an online multiplayer. They might,
that ain't
they might be doing an engine switch as we speak.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that whole fucking mess. So Unity dug their own grave.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, one of the guys who works at Unity, who kind of like spearheaded this, worked at Microsoft and spearheaded the whole Xbox One disastrous launch.
Didn't he also work at EA and he got fired for being too greedy, which is amazing
considering I think
EA.
It's the same guy. Yeah, was it Mike Hexon or something?
Yeah, the guy who wanted you to pay to reload.
Yeah, I think it's the same fucking guy.
Why did they keep hiring this dude?
And he keeps ruining everything. Like, Unity was fine. It was fucking fine before this.
I know.
That is ridiculous.
So I have to ask, which do you think is better? Station Invasion or PO'd?
Station Invasion, because I don't have to play it.
Fair. That's okay.
It runs at a decent frame rate.
Okay, fair enough. I was just thinking, like, what was our other double stay away? I'm like, oh, it's PO'd.
Yeah.
I'm like, which one's better?
This is better than PO'd.
Oof.
Because it's inoffensive.
Yeah, it just kind of exists.
Yeah, and PO doesn't offend me because of its content, because of like, poopy buttholes or anything. It offends me because it's bad.
Yeah, it offends me because there was potential. And they just
yes. Whereas with this, you know what you're getting into like right away.
Yeah, like it takes like 5 minutes to realize this game's kind of shit when playing it.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't believe I found Ernie. I can't believe it. I wouldn't it be funny if somehow somebody's like, "Oh, dude, that somebody in a podcast mentioned you, and you're in a 3DO game or something."
You were in Station Invasion. Like,
I hope we meet this man.
We got to meet Trip first. He's been posting a lot of 3DO shit lately, so I'm seeing this as a sign.
I considered commenting under one of his posts saying, "Come on our show." Just a cold ask.
I know. I mean, what's the worst he could say?
Nothing.
Yeah.
Which is probably what he would say anyway. but I've considered it just because I think it'd be funny.
I'd love to talk to the man just to
Yeah.
figure out what his
Yeah.
idea was, like, and like
Yeah.
what his
But-
thought
but-
process.
Yeah, but since Ernie is a public figure to a certain degree, his name is Michael Biancalana. I hope I'm saying that right. Am I saying that right? I could be. Michael Biancalana. Quite the name. Let's see. In his little bio in Bonfire Games, it says, "Don't let the last name fool you. This guy's as American as deep fried Twinkies," which actually reminds me that this game, I think, was trying to go for like a UHF thing.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like the same idea, like have like, you know, wacky hijinks in a TV studio. But where UHF differs is it's funny.
Yeah.
And it was done by a comedian. Whereas this, I feel like just whoever wrote this just no.
See, when I think UHF, I just think of like Michael Richards blasting people with a freaking fire hose.
You get the drink from the fire hose. Open wide. Which I think is so hilarious, knowing what Michael Richards got in trouble for.
Yeah. Like, my God.
Like him spraying people with hoses.
That's actually one of my favorite Family Guy jokes, and this is coming from a guy who doesn't like Family Guy very much, but it's like Peter takes Cleveland to, it's like, hey, this guy used to play Kramer on Seinfeld, and it just cuts right there, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, that's oh god.
But
yeah, I'm just reading this thing. It's just kind of whatever. He likes baking desserts.
Does he like smells though? That's the question we need to know.
It doesn't mention it. Well, he likes baking, so apparently he likes some kind of smells.
What a weird I'm gonna laugh when it's not even him.
I was about to say that would be the funniest thing, but I swear to God, like I'm gonna send you his picture, and you'll go, I think that's him.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I think it's him. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but it just seems to line up too much that a kid in an FMV video game would do it to try to get into the industry.
Yeah,
you know. It's just a thought. It's just a thought in the back of my skull. Okay. So leave me alone.
So I don't think we're gonna get much farther stretching this one out. I figure we probably.
That's what I'm doing. I'm padding everybody, padding, because there's really not a lot to say.
We should start wrapping this one up.
Yeah, we probably.
What should we play next week?
That's a good question. That is a great question. Let me look.
I don't really want to jump right into the golf games just because I feel like that's going to take. Well, because we just did sports and I want to spread it out a little bit, but
and I don't want to talk about 4 games.
Yeah.
Let's see. Looking at my stack. Do we have a release date for Plumbers Don't Wear Ties yet?
We don't yet.
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be September, but it's like we're nearing the end of the month, and they haven't set. Like pre-orders have gone up for the physical, which I considered buying, but I just opted not because it's limited run games.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, like, you know, I was gonna buy it digitally anyways. So.
Do you have Blade Force?
No.
No. All right. That one.
You know what? Let's for once let's maybe do something a little bit more traditional. Do you want to try Soccer Kid?
Yeah, let's do Soccer Kid. That's
Yes, let's do a platformer.
That's actually an interesting one. So
yeah, and I kind of want to sit down and play that game anyway. So
yeah, then not quite ready for Gex yet, mostly just because I'm waiting for the re-release. But yeah, let's do Soccer Kid. That's a fun.
Well, I think that re-release is gonna be a while.
True.
Because it's supposed to be all 3 of them, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
So we could do that in 2 parts. We could do our 3DO impression of the first one, and then later on, when the collection comes out, we can revisit it and talk about the other 2.
Yeah. Yeah, we could do that. So yeah, Soccer Kid.
Yeah, we'll do Soccer Kid. Why not? I've been kind of wanting to do this one anyway.
It's been sitting in my collection forever too, and I finally been meaning to get around to playing it. So
yeah.
All right. I guess we'll end it off there. We almost made an hour stretching this out.
Well, to be fair, last week's was kind of long, so
true.
Everyone's allowed a shorter one this week.
Yeah, we got some good reception for that one, though. So.
Oh, good. Yeah. We all like sports around here.
That is true. But anyways, guys, once again, thanks for joining us on the 3DO Experience. The 3DO Experience can be found on all the podcasting platforms. You can find all of our links at linktree/thebarbecue and you can join our Discord server where crazy shit happens and we talk games every now and then.
And check out the latest episode of Super Pod Saga, the one where I'm on, where we talk about spinoffs. It was a great time. I loved it. I think me and Bill are planning to be on an episode of that later in the future. Aaron and Tommy, they're a lot of fun to work with, and I can't wait to do more shit talking with them in the future.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Aaron and Tommy. And I guess while we're plugging stuff, I want to throw a shout out to our mutual friend Rick. I was recently on an episode of Pixel Project Radio talking about an obscure Inuyasha RPG for the PS2.
Hell yeah.
I also recommend checking that out.
And later on this year, I will be joining Rick on Lost Odyssey. So hopefully I can get back to that because I started up the Resident Evil 4 Separate Ways DLC. So once I finish that,
nice.
I will probably hit Lost Odyssey because even though like new releases are going to start going nuts in October, I need to try to get some of these, kind of lingering ones done with. So, yeah.
All right. Well, until then, guys, we will see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
If you're not playing on a 3DO system, what are you playing with?